I love the red blood cells that are going down the
I know.
artery. That thing is just so cool.
I love it
After
too.
with the shot needle, I'm going like, I remember that. Like, they had to pull me out from under the bed.
Well, what I was going to share is this time of year we have where, you know, the flu season, as they call it, is coming towards us, and colds and all that, because we're all locking ourselves up, and the kids are back in school, and of course they're, you know how kids are. So one of the things that we forget in the winter to do is drink water. In the summer, we drink our water, we drink our water, we drink our water. And in the winter, we forget to do it and we get dehydrated. Yep. Got to drink this water. Make sure you drink more than enough, because especially with that hot air of the heater going, it dries you out, guys. And that's how, one of the ways you get sick. Another thing I wanted to share was diffuser, and I didn't bring it with me, but a diffuser, you put your essential oils in it. And the essential oil I put in my diffuser personally is thieves oil. I put thieves oil every time this time of year. I put about 3 drops of thieves oil, and I have that diffuser going. Look at that. See? Right there. That's the bottle. Thank you, Mark.
Can you read it? I don't think you can read it. But yeah, it's these.
And the other thing I do with thieves oil is I make 2 different things. I make hand sanitizer that's with aloe gel, but my favorite one is in a spray bottle like this. It's a glass bottle. Is I take 1/3 water, 1/3 witch hazel, and 1/3, I think it was vinegar, white vinegar. And you mix this together. And then you put, or no, aloe vera juice. I'm sorry, aloe vera juice, not vinegar. Okay, so 1/3 witch hazel, 1/3 water, and 1/3 aloe juice. And then put 10 drops of thieves oil on this. I put this in my purse. I take this, I have a smaller bottle than this one, but I take it in my purse with me to the store. I spray it on, you know, those handles that the kids put their mouths on, and then stuff comes out of their bodies that get on it. I take this, and I have a little Kleenex, you know, the little boxes of Kleenexes in my purse. I take that, spray it, and I wipe that down. We go to the store. I also, even if it's not cold, I wear gloves when I go to the store. Sorry, I do not want to get sick, so I wear gloves. And when we're pushing that cart or touching something, because kids touch everything, and took the gloves off, throw them in the dirty clothes when I'm done with them. And when we get in the car after shopping, I take this bottle, I shake it. You got to shake it before every use. And then I spray it in front of me, and then I walk into it and breathe it in, because people don't realize that you've got people in the store sneezing and coughing and all this, and it's all in the air, and you're breathing this in. So when you breathe in the thieves oil, it goes in and it helps your immune system conquer that illness. And you also spray it on your hands. And it's wonderful for when you have children. In fact, my dad, 82 years young, he now has this, and he goes, I am so grateful for this stuff, because he goes and picks up my 9-year-old niece since she was 5. For 4 years now, he's been doing this, and he hasn't caught her cold. Every year she catches a cold, and he goes, I spray that. He sprays his whole truck with this stuff before and after she leaves. And he says, I haven't gotten sick. I make sure I spray it on her hands. So, and you know, the rules, wash your hands as well. It's that simple.
Right.
But that's what I have for today. You know, if you don't want to.
Let me ask you, Joe, do you kiss your husband?
Yes, I do. But I spray thieves oil in his mouth. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's horrible. Thieves is a rough one, man. That is
No, we just make sure nobody's sick.
What's that?
We make sure that each other is not sick. If we feel a tickle in our throat or anything, it's like,
right. Yeah, okay. You know, because I know it's a very personal and an odd question to ask, but yet after that whole discourse you just went there, you know, it makes me wonder sometimes. I'm not as weary of these things as some people are, but I think my thought on this is there are some people that are more susceptible to catching these things, and I think that there are others that, well, let me give you an example. I grew up with my mother constantly doing what you did, and that's, I mean, we're talking 50 some years ago. My mother constantly made sure I didn't get any germs, and she used alcohol to clean things up and stuff. She was like pre all this stuff that people know today. She knew it when I was growing up. But if I got a cold or the flu, it was a 100% guarantee I was out for 2 weeks. 100% guarantee. The second I got a scratchy throat, or I could feel, you feel that thing in your sinuses that is very sensitive, and you can feel, oh my gosh, I've got a cold coming on. I guarantee it was 2 weeks before I even started getting well. And that's the way I grew up, and was probably well into my 20s, and I don't know, maybe even close to 30. That's the way it was with me. It's I just knew it, that I was going to be out for that amount of time. But for some reason, I either grew out of it, my metabolism changed, or something, to the point today is I don't remember the last time I even got a cold or the flu, or I'll get little, sometimes in my throat or something, it'll get a little scratchy, and I use not chloroform, or what is it? Chloroseptic. Yeah, and spray a little bit in there, you know.
I know all this stuff.
And it usually doesn't. Yeah, I know chloroform.
Melaleuca honey would work.
A little chloroform on it, you know. Let's see. All right. Well, I don't feel anything good. No, but seriously, I just don't get it anymore, and I don't take hardly any precautions whatsoever at all. Now, it does. What's that?
Your immune system probably was built up. It's like, for example, I have really large sinus cavity, like my father. Yeah. And so it's easy for us to, they say, to get sick because of the cavity being so big.
Right.
But because of the things that I learned as a child, you were talking about when you were a child. When I was a child at age 7 to about 10 years of age, my grandparents lived with us, and my grandfather was a homeopath.
Right.
You know, he wasn't certified or anything. Okay. But the man knew everything about herbs, what to use, how to use it. And every time us kids would get sick, you know, like your mom spraying and everything, my mom did that. But as soon as a little tickle in the throat came, out came the herbs. Sit down, you're going to drink this tea. Sit down, you're going to do this. Sit down, you're going to take some honey. We never got sick. We never got sick. We always had, you know, and there were times where we would get upset because we wanted to not go to school. We wanted to be sick. The only time I remember staying home is 2 times in elementary school. Once was the chicken pox, and the other one was the mumps. Those are the only 2 times I stayed home from school. Any other time, if I had a sniffle, here's some Kleenexes, here's your tea to take with you to school. Go to school.
I do have to. I do have a small runny nose problem, but it's like the year round, 24/7, and it's real small. I always have to have Kleenex or a handkerchief ready because of that. But I don't feel sick. I don't. It doesn't. Sherry, why don't you share too, and then we'll get into your segment. We're running kind of tight here.
Well, you know, the historian among the group. Do y'all know the history of thieves? Do y'all know the history of how it came about? For those who don't, it's very interesting. It goes all the way back to the bubonic plague in the 1400s, and they caught these 4 thieves for stealing from the sick and the dying, but they had never contracted the plague, even though they were handling all this stuff, you know. And so the judge was so intrigued, he wanted to know how they didn't catch it. Was it something they were doing? So he told them he'd let them go if they'd tell him. Well, actually, he told them he wouldn't burn them alive. He would hang them. That's not a good choice. But anyway, they told him that they were spice merchants and stuff, and spice and perfume merchants, and they'd been unemployed because of the seaports being closed and all that. And they prepared that essential oil recipe, and they had applied it to their hands and their ears and their temples and their feet, and a mask over their mouth. And so actually the doctor who treated the Black Death started using that. And they would wear that mask that looked like a bird beak. That's how they got the nickname Quack.
Wow.
So, but as far as the flu season goes, now this is, we learn a lot of stuff from our older generation. And they'd always have a little nip of black elderberry wine during the flu season, and they wouldn't get the flu. They knew it was something in the black elderberry wine. So this Israeli doctor was doing her thesis. She's a naturopathic doctor, and they said they knew there was something good in elderberry, and she did the research on it. And what she found was in the elderberry, there is something that flu virus has a stinger, and it uses that stinger to sting the other cells and invade the cells. That's how it spreads through the body. Well, there's something in the black elderberry that disabled that stinger. So if you take it consistently every day, you're not as likely to get the flu. But if you do get it and you double and triple up on it, you don't have it as long. Right. And I saw that with my friend Linda. She was undergoing chemotherapy, and they told her she had the flu, type 1, like the worst kind you can have. And I said, we're going to the health food store. And we bought bottles of it for her. And she started taking that. And her grandson had started getting it. And he took the black elderberry. And he went to school the next day. All the symptoms went away. She was well within 4 days when she went back to the doctor. We were so excited telling him about this and all that. So he said, yeah, and you can take a black pat and sling it over your shoulder too. You didn't really have the flu. And I'm going like, your own test shows she had the flu. I told her, I said, I get another doctor. I wouldn't have him. But anyway, the black elderberry has been proven and it's the liquid. Yeah. They've got them in tablets now, but it's the liquid because our cousin took the tablets and his kids took the liquid and they all got well and he was sick for 14 days. So he was like, get the liquid.
I think Mogan David actually makes that type of wine too.
They do. Black elderberry syrup is actually better. It's stronger. Yeah. But if you want Shabbat wine, you can have that on Shabbat too.
Hey, Shabbat, every Shabbat have your elderberry.
That's right.
Hey, just drink it every day. So,
That's my favorite wine.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been good. Thank you very much, Joe, for bringing this. And thanks, Sherry, for entering in there. That was a great story. I think I've heard that story before a long time ago, but thank you for bringing that to us.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.